Great. All right. Go ahead, Jamie.
Sure. Okay, so let's see. We have 32 people here, which isn't too large of a group. And I think we have enough wiggle room in terms of time to have everybody do a very brief introduction of your name, your organization, and your role at your organization. Again, please keep it brief so we can stay within the time allotted for this. And let's start at the top of my list here. And the purpose of going around and doing a round robin of introductions, one of the key aspects of this training is to network across the agency and get to know your CNRA colleagues who do similar work, because there's so much resource and knowledge sharing that is available to you within this capacity of the training. So let's first start with who I see at the top of the list, which is Amber.
Here we go. Hi, it looks like it's working.
Yes.
I'm Amber Barton. I'm a research data analyst too for farmland monitoring mapping, which is in DLRP.
Awesome. Oh, I haven't met you yet, Amber. That's exciting. Hi, welcome. Okay, Greg.
Hi, my name is Greg Berg, and I'm with CalGEM in Southern District.
Awesome. And for those who don't know what CalGEM is, can you say the
Oh,
acronym, the full? Yeah.
it's a long acronym. It's a long word. Actually.
It is.
It used to be DOGGR. We do oil and gas permitting, California Energy Management District.
There we go. Thank you.
Sure.
Ibukun.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm sorry, I'm
we're
late.
doing a
I
round
thought I
robin
had
of
some time.
introductions. I know you just joined. If you could introduce yourself, your role, and the organization you're with.
Absolutely, and I apologize
you.
for joining late. I thought I had some more time, but
No
my name is
worries.
Ibukun Ajayi, and my role, I'm a senior oil and gas engineer in the venture office, part of the Northern District, in CalGEM.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, Sarah.
Hello, good morning. My name is Sarah Bouguet. I'm a senior engineering geologist, and I'm with the Department of Water Resources.
Perfect. Thank you. Next, we have Caitlin, and then Amelia, and then James. So you know who is next.
Hi, good morning. My name's Caitlin. I am with the Wellstar team within CalGEM.
Hey, Caitlin. And then we have Amelia and James.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amelia Bryan, and I'm the travel coordinator in the Office of Tribal Affairs with the Department of Conservation.
Awesome. Go ahead, James.
Good morning. I'm James Christiansen. I'm with the enforcement unit in CalGEM in Sacramento.
Cool. It's great to have a lot of CalGEM folks here this morning. Then next we have Jack, Callie, Jason, and Aaron.
Hi, my name's Jack Collender. I'm with an associate oil and gas engineer with CalGEM Southern District.
Great.
And I'm Callie Cullum. I'm an associate oil and gas engineer in CalGEM. Hi, Sarah.
CalGEM party.
CalGEM Southern District in Long Beach.
Excellent. Thank you. Jason and Aaron.
Hi there, I'm Jason Duda, also with CalGEM. I'm a senior environmental scientist supervisor with our CEQA program.
Great.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm a regulation specialist in the Office of Legislative and Regulatory Affairs, known as OLRA, with Department of Conservation.
Wonderful. And then next we have Christine, Junko, Barry, and Tiffany.
Please call me Chris.
Chris.
I assume you're talking about me.
Yes, just by line reading the names, but yes, of course,
Sure.
Chris. Go for it.
Chris Hansen with the Office of Legislative and Regulatory Affairs. I'm a regulatory specialist, just like Aaron, and we both work for the Department of Conservation.
Thanks, Chris.
Hi, good morning, everybody. This is Junko Hoshi. I'm from Department of Fish and Wildlife. Now I'm in Region 2, which is Northern Central Region, and under Cannabis Program. I am a senior environmental scientist, but I function usually as strategic planner. So I do right now project management and also strategic planning for the region.
Hey, very cool. Thank you. We have Barry.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Barry Irick, Associate Oil and Gas Engineer, Technical Support Unit, CalGEM Southern District.
Awesome. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Okay. I jumped the gun too soon. My name is Tiffany Kelly. I am the grants manager at CAL FIRE.
Awesome. Love to have CAL FIRE people here this morning. And then we have our last four folks, I think. We have Nikki, Jacob, Joshua, and Pamela.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nikki Lambert. I am with the Department of Parks and Recreation in the Office of Grants and Local Services, and I am the Competitive Review Team Supervisor.
Awesome.
My name is Joshua. So my name is Joshua. I work from the Ventura office. I'm an engineer with the Department of Conservation, also in CalGEM.
Great. We have Jacob, and then last but not least, Pamela.
I'm Jacob Lee, Senior Engineering Geologist, California Geological Survey.
Hi, I'm Pam, State Parks, and a project officer with OGAL's Office of Grants and Local Services with Nikki.
Awesome. Hey, Pam. It's nice to see you again. All right. It looks like I missed a couple people, so if I didn't call on you, I apologize. Just jump in, unmute yourself, and intro.
There's like 8 more people. If you click see more, there's like a lot more.
Yeah, I didn't get the list,
Madison,
obviously.
Kate, Trey, Amar, Laxmi, Angela, Nadine, Michael, Amanda, Esther, Linda, and I'm a little worried about time. I'm actually wondering if we don't hurt everyone's feelings, if you could introduce yourself in the chat, and maybe we should keep going. What do you think?
Sounds good to me. If everyone is okay with that, we'll scoot along.
Okay. Thanks for being flexible, everybody. If you don't mind, just drop your name into the chat so everyone can know your job and what department you're with. So here's what we have planned for today. We are about to talk a little bit more about the model and how it came to be. We're going to ask you to get out your phones or to use a link that we'll share in the chat to do some quick polling. Then I'm going to go over exactly what you would want to expect in the 2-day training as you consider wanting to take this. We'll give a couple examples and talk about the expectations. Right after 10, we'll go over a few frequently asked questions, and we will end by 10:15. If anybody still does have questions, we can stay on from 10:15 to 10:30 while others head out to answer any other questions you have. All right, next slide. Okay, so the very first thing we want to kind of get everyone on the same page is, what is the difference between outreach and engagement? So outreach is when we're pushing information out. We kind of think of it as one-way information, whereas engagement is really about two-way connection and dialogue. And this training is really about engagement versus kind of a more public affairs style outreach. And so that's one of the things that you want to be thinking about is, do you need to do engagement in your job? And if so, this could really be useful to you. Next slide. So I'm sure this isn't news to anyone, but there's a lot of engagement that happens with government, not just state government, but cities, counties, special districts. that really falls flat. It often is what those of us in the field think of as check the box engagement, like you did it and you can say you did it, but did you really engage people? Was it really authentic? Did you do anything with what folks told you? So we think about how to be intentional. We think about being a little risk-taking versus risk-adverse, and that we think about going beyond the usuals. So that's part of what you're going to be seeing as we kind of explore this content today. Next slide.
All right, so we're going to pause here and take a moment to hear from you by utilizing Mentimeter, which some of you may or may not be familiar with. So you have two options here to access the poll. You can go to the Mentimeter website and enter in the code that's on this slide, or you can scan the QR code on this slide with your phone to access the poll. And I will give you all a few moments to do so, whichever method you're most comfortable with. And then I will switch over to the poll and get it live so we can see the results in real time as we go along each question. And the purpose of this poll is to not only stimulate conversation, but more importantly, for Sarah and I to better understand your interest in the training, where your work usually takes you in terms of what type of engagement. And with that information, we can get a better sense of whether or not this training is a good fit for you, which I hope that it will be. So I'm going to go ahead and switch gears here and share the poll. I will get it live so you can actually start getting in there and answering the questions.
Oh, I got the link isn't working. Okay, if the link isn't working, just go to menti.com, MENTI, and then you can put in the code. I'll copy this code. Hold on a second.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah.
And then you can drop this code right into the website.
It's also at the top of my screen here that I'm sharing the website and the code that you can enter in. But it seems like some of you are in there and you're adding to it as we speak. Thank you. So the first question is us requesting that you give us one reason this training interests you, why you want to participate in it. And I'm seeing some really great things here. So I see actual engagement, which seems relevant to the last slide we just touched on. Improved communication, so important. Expand knowledge, curiosity, love that. Education, dealing with people, yes. Stewardship, future career planning, that's fantastic. We have do better. Yes, always aiming to do better. Professional development, just said that. Agency, interaction, yes.
Question, someone put in important to REO work. I don't know if that's a typo or if REO stands for something. Anyone willing to share?
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. I was wondering that too.
Yes, hi, that was me. I work for the Racial Equity Office, so REO stands for Racial Equity Office.
Oh, nice. Wait, sorry, where do you work?
Equity Office for the Department of Water Resources.
Okay, DWR, got it. All right. All right, should we go to the next one?
We should.
This is great, everybody. Thank you.
So this is helpful for us. What type of engagement are you typically tasked with in your role at your organization? Is it typically complex stakeholder engagement? Is it sister agency engagement? Perhaps you're tasked with engaging local governments, or maybe it's the general public and communities. Maybe there's another option that isn't listed here, which I'd love to hear what that may be. And I believe you can select multiple options on this slide. So perhaps you're tasked with all the above, just a couple. And it looks like most of you are tasked with general public / communities engagement. And we have the second runner-up being complex stakeholder engagement, third being sister agency, and then on the lower end, local governments. And then I see about 5 of you with other. And if 1 or 2, time permitting, can unmute yourself and share what is that other type of engagement that you're tasked with in your role. Okay, no need to share. We can move right along.
I was about to say, I got to hear from at least one person. I'm so curious what other might be.
Internal engagement.
Oh,
nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Something we should have listed. That's good. Yeah, absolutely.
That's really good.
Yeah, this model is all encompassing. I know maybe the focus is more on public or sister agency engagement, but it also allows you various tools and methodologies for engaging internally with, which is just as important and can be just as challenging. All right, moving on along. At what regularity, we're curious, do you conduct engagement? So maybe some of you are just interested in this training and engagement is not really a part of your everyday work. Or maybe sometimes engagement happens in response to inquiry only. So maybe it's more reactionary. Engagement happens on occasion, whatever integral that could be. And engagement is somewhat, they're all moving around, regular. So we see most of you engagement is central to your work. And we have close ties with engagement being regular, engagement responding to inquiry, and then occasionally. And then just a smattering of you where you're like, hey, it's actually not really a part of my everyday work. All right, I'm wondering what is most challenging about engagement for you, whether it's internal or external? And this may take a few moments to think of something, which is totally fine. Getting responses with all of the information needed. So maybe asking the right questions to elicit the right information that you're looking for. That's what I'm interpreting from that. Better understanding other parties' backgrounds. Yes. Getting on the same page at the start, how to navigate and mitigate a hostile environment. We definitely touch on that. Differing perspectives. Yep, that's a common element. Adapting to meet needs of population that you're working with. Yes. External engagement of others who have different goals. Yeah, divergent goals. That's hard to kind of coalesce and meet in the middle there. Allowing everyone to interact and to be heard. Yes. I like that. Vulnerability. Definitely. There's an aspect of vulnerability in this work. If you're engaging in it in an authentic way, there's vulnerability, of course. Internal, getting folks to shift towards engagement. And I'll read a couple more here. Figuring out what the right strategy and or method will work for the best situation or case at hand. Conflicting needs from other groups. And getting science folks interested in equity. Okay, these are great, very helpful responses. Thank you, everybody. And that is the end of our poll. Let me switch gears back to the presentation. Thank you again for everybody for participating.
This is really useful.
Yeah.
Exactly the context that really helps us understand where folks are coming from.
Definitely. All right, let's get us back on track with the last slide we were on. And here we are. Okay, Sarah, take it away.
All right, so I'm now going to talk a little bit about the specific model. So it is a 5-phase, 25-step model. And the idea is you can use it just kind of soup to nuts. Oh, can you go back? to think about how to engage. So phase 1 is the R, reach out and listen. Phase 2 is the U, understand and learn. Phase 3 is building out your effort. Phase 4, I, implement. And phase 5 is nurture. And I just want to take a minute to talk to you a little bit about how this model came about. So I have been working at the Department of Conservation for 7 years. And prior to coming here, I worked at a place called the Institute for Local Government, which is part of the League of Cities and the California State Association of Counties. And I ran their statewide public engagement program. And when I got there, I found that most people in cities and counties who are doing public engagement have literally had zero training in any way in what or how engagement is. And so it kind of pushed me that like people really need help. And so while I was there, I worked on a model that was focused on city and county staff, really geared for them. And that model is called Tiers. When I got here to DOC, I don't know why, but I was surprised to find out that the folks generally doing engagement at the state also have had no training in public engagement. And so that kind of prompted me to be like, okay, let me work on a structure that people from kind of the state mindset and point of view could use. So initially, this model was created for just people within my own department. But then as I would talk to colleagues about it within CNRA, they were like, can I come? Can I be involved? So it's been a few years now that this training has been open for people outside of the Department of Conservation and within the CNRA family to take. So that's part of how we've got a diversity of folks here. Next slide. Okay, so we will have some lecture within the 2 days, but there is a lot of interactive learning, lots of breakouts, group discussions. It's an extremely active training. So if you are somebody who would hope to just sit and listen, this would not be for you. You're pretty much busy the whole 2 days. We do a lot in 2 days. At the end of each of these trainings, we've always got some people saying this really should have been 3 days. But it is really hard to get 3 days worth of people's time. So we pack a lot into 2 days. Next slide. One of the things that people really enjoy is I always try to bring in a couple of colleagues who are absolutely fantastic practitioners to share their own expertise and perspective on this work. Serlene Grant, who now is over at DTSC within Cal EPA. She and I used to work at a place called the Center for Collaborative Policy together at Sac State. And we love working together. So it's always fun when she gets to be a part of this. And then Crystal Love-Lazard, she is now the manager of community engagement at the city of Elk Grove. She and I used to work together at the Institute for Local Government, where I just mentioned, and she's amazing. So they will both be here for one of the days. Next slide. So here is the specific agenda to give you a sense of what you would be in for if you decide you want to go forward and do this. We just start from the top and we run through the steps. So we've got the first stage where we look at the basics, like how much time do you have? How much money, if any, do you have, and how much help do you have from colleagues? Because those 3 things are really the basis for everything. If you have 2 months versus 2 weeks, like what you can attempt to do is really different. Let me just see with the reaction button, how many people have heard of IAP2, the International Association of Public Participation? All right, I saw 1. So we'll talk about how the IAP2 spectrum is a really useful tool, both for you and for dealing with colleagues internally. We talk about evaluation and how important it is to think about that from the beginning. And then we'll next go into our second phase, the understand and learn, where we really get into equity issues and all, the very sensitive history that is often at play in most of our communities as far as what's happened in the past. We teach you how to do a benefit burden analysis. We look at language access, politics, the history of place. And then we move into the third phase, which is building out your details, which is really in the weeds. Where do you hold locations? How do you think about the setup? All the logistics. Next slide. And we really go deep into all, a lot of folks will just do at a public meeting. I feel like the default public meeting is boring people at the front of the room giving boring presentations while everyone falls asleep and is annoyed, and then people get up and stand in a line and give a 2-minute a microphone. So we go through the gazillion different ways you can do something different and better than that. We talk about how you need to be checking your approach for your engagement with local folks. That's step 5, the process design check. If you aren't checking in with your local people, you don't have any idea if what you're hoping to do makes any sense. We get into implementation, outreach, turnout for events, communicating, social media. And then I'm always trying to prepare for all the things that might go wrong, which are many and usually come from inside your own organization. Next slide. And then we wrap up our second day with talking about what you can do to continually be improving your engagement work. That's our phase 5, nurturing change. What can you do to change your internal systems and processes as you wrap up any engagement effort and you learn from it? Next slide. All right. So one of the things that we ask everyone to do is to think about some kind of specific project or program you might need to do engagement on, because we find that taking this training and applying it to something specific makes it much more impactful and effective versus just thinking about this stuff in more of an ethereal way. So we're going to give you some examples. Next slide. Okay, so here is one that I encountered when working with Stanislaus County. They were like, here's our project. We are going to put in this traffic circle and we want, everyone to realize how great it is for them. So I was saying, well, if all the feedback was they didn't want a traffic circle, would you not do a traffic circle? And they're like, no, we're doing the traffic circle and we really want everyone to be behind it. And so I said, okay, that's completely legit. I'm super supportive of your traffic circle project, but it is not a good project for this training. So their traffic circle project was an example of an outreach project. It's a legitimate, not every project needs two-way dialogue. Some projects like this, it's what the jurisdiction's going to do. They need to educate people about why it's great. That's fine. But we needed to find a different project for them as far as their training where they needed two-way dialogue from the public. So if you have something that's really like you want to sell folks on what you're doing, it wouldn't be the right project for this training. Next slide. All right. So here's an example from our own department. Within CalGEM, our oil and gas group, we do all kinds of well plugging. So, and this is Ibakun, my colleague Ibakun is on right now. This is an example from a project we did together. We had some wells in the Oxnard area that needed to be plugged. We needed to engage with folks so they understood what's happening. As we looked at the demographics of that community, not only was there a large number of Spanish-speaking community members, but also a big Mixteco-speaking community, which is an indigenous language. So for this meeting, after talking with folks, we realized what we wanted to do was hold our public meeting in Spanish, and then we had interpretation into English, and we had interpretation into Mixteco. We thought about where we were holding it. We held it at a community center. We had refreshments for folks. One of the things we do in this training is talk to you about creative ways to do kids activities options and refreshments. Next slide. All right. So what we will do with anybody or any groups that are taking this training is we will be scheduling a 15 to 20 minute virtual call with you to talk through what program or project you want to do. And whatever you bring to us, if it ends up being like a traffic circle example, we would help you think about something else that would be a good fit. All right. Any questions on the project before we kind of go to the bigger questions? Anyone have any initial questions about this idea of a project? Anyone feeling daunted or worried about that? All right, Joshua, go ahead.
Just quickly, so I see there will be a look back session on day 2. Is it going to be specific on the project chosen, or are we going to have opportunity to work across projects?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question? I think I didn't have my volume up enough.
Okay, so I was saying on day 2, I see that it's a look back session on the project that has been selected. So it is going to be an individual look back for each individual based on project selection, or during the program, are we going to have opportunity to see what other projects have been selected by other individuals and probably take the learnings from there as well?
Yes. So thank you. That's a great question. So morning 1 of day 1, when everyone does their introduction, they'll say their name, where they work, and we're looking for a 30-second summary of your project. So when we first meet everyone, you'll hear about everybody's projects. And I would say from our past, there's usually quite a few where maybe 2 or sometimes 3 people are working on the same project. And there's all kinds of examples where folks have their own individual project. Junko, go ahead.
Hi, so 2 things. One is I used to write on this topic. Right now I changed the position and it's kind of quiet in that element, but I'm starting something, it's internal. So this is exactly what I'm going to do. And the kickoff is like next week. We have, I'm in the Department of Fish and Wildlife statewide, but I'm in one of the region, like 10 county or so. And we're trying to make a strategic plan for operational plan with the managers level. And typically it's not well engaged. So this is internal and engagement. Is it considered fit? It is.
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to be a great fit. I especially think because don't you have lots of district offices?
Yes.
Yeah. And you need to engage managers at the different district offices?
Yeah, it's going to be not the big, but the head of the region and program manager from all topics like fish and wildlife and other topics and enforcement. And so it's going to be super diverse. And it's high level like HR elements. And it's going to be also conservation. And so we're going to start with this. So I want to make sure this outcome strategy plan is going to be useful for them. And I have been nagging about it, but I just want to have like strategy on my end too. So
yeah,
set it up.
I think there'll be a bunch of pieces that won't be super specifically applicable to this project you're working on. But I guess I'd make the assumption that it would generally be interesting to you. And then so much of it will be applicable that it will be useful.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, next slide.
So before we open the floor to all of you for questions and or comments, the most frequently asked questions related to this training are here on this screen. And the first one being, the most prominent being, will a hybrid option be offered? And the answer is a hard no. So Sarah mentioned how active, engaging, and dynamic this training is over the course of 2 days. There's just no way it would transfer over well to it being a hybrid. You really need to be present and fully engaged the entire time. So it is in person at Sacramento headquarters only. Do you have to attend both days? You're not beholden to both days, but it would benefit you to attend both days and rearrange your schedule as much as possible so you can be present for as much as possible. We kind of touched already on this.
Sorry, I would just add in that if someone tried to come on the second day, you would be lost. It really wouldn't make sense.
Right. Thank you, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
So what if you don't have a project program or case study, as mentioned in the previous slide? Once you register, I will reach out to you personally and give you the next steps. And one of those steps is scheduling about a 15, 20, or 30-minute, however much time we need, call with Sarah and myself to discuss different projects that you have on your plate that you could implement during this training. So have no fear, we could figure something out. And then lastly, are you expected to carry out your program, project, or case study? You're not beholden to that. That is up to you. So the answer is no, but we do hope this model helps whatever project, case study, program that you have on hand that you'll be working on during the training. So with that being said, with those FAQs, I'm going to open the floor and ask if any of you have any questions or comments that you would like to share.
Well, no, it's free. We do it for free. So because we didn't get to everybody until we see hands, I'm actually going to go opposite alphabet to just check in with folks. So Linda, Esther, Amanda, any comment or thought?
Hey, Sarah, I don't have any questions, but just want to say I'm really excited for the training.
Oh, awesome. Go ahead, Esther.
There we go. Sorry, computer's having issues. I'm excited. I have a project that I think would be really helpful. The other thing that I'm trying to figure out is how to use this particular model for guideline development. And that's one of the things is with Prop 4, we're required to do public outreach. And I feel like in the majority of the cases, we just do a lot of outreach and not a ton of engagement. So I'd be curious to see if there's a way to apply some of this into that aspect. So that's where I'm coming from.
I think having that view is a great idea as you go through it. Let's see. Did Callie ask, are we taking this on road? Yeah, Callie, I could do it in Long Beach if you guys want. I didn't know there was that much interest. But we could totally use your training room. It's something we could talk about. If you guys would rather have me do another one down in Long Beach, I'm going to be there on February 12th. But otherwise, we do this once a year. Amanda, Michael, or Nadine, anything you guys want to say or offer?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
I'm good. Thank you.
Just excited. It seems like a really fun show.
Cool. Angelica, Laxmi, or Amar, what about you all?
I'll jump in. This is Amar. So I was just wondering if is it possible for, if you guys are, I assume you're based in Sacramento, to have an in-person element for the Sacramento folks, or is it going to be fully remote?
It's only in person. There's no remote option.
Okay.
So
All
just
right.
a
Anyone
quick
else?
note here. So for CNRA folks, you will want to register utilizing the Microsoft form that I've created, in which you can access by scanning the QR code on the screen here. Or you can follow the link that I just dropped into the chat. And for my Department of Conservation colleagues, you will need to utilize the link provided in the chat that takes you directly to the LMS so you can officially register. So CNRA folks, go ahead and use the Microsoft form. DOC folks, please go through LMS in order to register, just so we're clear there.
Any other comments or thoughts or questions?
Yeah, and if any questions or comments arise between now and then, you are more than welcome to email Sarah or me. I'll drop our emails into the chat right now.
Hi, Angelica. Here. Can I ask a quick question, please?
Of course. Go for it.
So for the ones who are going to be traveling from out of town, what time do the classes start and end?
Classes start
9:30. Yeah.
9:30 to 3:30 p.m. But we're there until about 4 if you have any questions after, kind of like office hours after each session. So here, I'll drop that into the chat.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then just as a reminder, the dates are April 1st and 2nd.
On the second floor in the CNRA building.
Yep. Let's see.
Anyone else before we wrap up?
So the deadline to register is going to be March 20th. We have a capacity that ranges from 40 to 45 people, and it fills up very quickly. So I do highly encourage you to register beforehand, and the hard deadline will be March 20th.
All right, so I'd say the one thing I'm a little surprised about is that everybody here has a project they would feel good about. No one else is worried about having the right project. Is that right? Because we're not hearing from anyone?
All right.
Great.
I can share mine if it helps.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a geologist by trade, and I found myself I'm kind of leading this workplace affinity group, and I'm really looking forward to engaging with this really wide range of staff from all across CNRA and outside, some folks from Cal EPA as well. So does this sound like something, it's not a specific project per se, but okay, cool. I see your thumbs up. Thanks.
Yeah, because you've got such a wide array of people, and you're going to need to think about how to tailor your approach to the different audiences. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
Sure. Amar, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was putting mine in the chat. I was just wondering, is it possible for the class to fill up before the 20th, or if there will be a cap on the enrollment at any point?
Yes, there is a cap. We take about 45 people, and it does generally fill up pretty quick because we just do it once. It's a big lift, 2 days all day, so we do it once a year.
Exactly.
Good question. All right. So Jamie, anything else before we wrap up and say adios?
No, I think that is it. Adios. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, reach out to us via email. We are available.
Thanks, everybody.
Adios.
Bye.